Okay. In the previous session, we discussed about deadlock concept. So where we try to understand what do we mean by the deadlock. So we have discussed in a little bit of detail that what do we mean by deadlock in the system. So I have given you the example that this is a kind of a situation which we call it as a traffic jam. Okay, like no car can go further. In the same way, in the system, sometimes it happens that there will be different process, and because of some reason, the process cannot go ahead and complete the job. So why this happens, we understand in the previous lecture with the help of example. And before that, we understand that there are some resources in the computer and the resources are requested by the process, the resources are used by the process, and then they release. So how do we do that? They just provide the example with the help of semaphores. Okay, so we did not understand the exam. We did not see the examples of the system calls. They will be done directly, but in a different in some systems, a different mechanism like semaphore is implemented to give the resource and take the resource. And we discussed that there are two operations in the semaphores. One, to if you want the resource, we need to say acquire. This is like a method, and when we complete the job, we are going to release the resource. So by using this example, we have seen the deadlock situation here. Like there are two semaphores here. So we have seen S and Q are two semaphores. They are both initialized to 1. And because they are initialized to 1, when say S dot acquire, S semaphore S, when I say acquire, I told you, acquire is like wait. Lecture number 5, we have discussed about that. Wait and signal, two different operations. So wait is like acquire, signal is like release. When I say s dot acquire, s will become s minus 1, that is 0, and process 0 is going to take s. Now process 1 is going to take q, and q minus 1, that becomes 0. Then both of them are waiting for process 0 is waiting for q and process 1 is waiting for s. It will never happen because p0 is already holding s. p1 is already holding q. So only when they leave it, they can continue. Otherwise, now this is the situation of a deadlock that no process, neither P0 nor P1 is going to complete the job. So we understand in the previous lecture the dining philosopher problem. We understand what are the different reasons for the deadlock, necessary conditions for the deadlock. Please watch the lecture again to get the revision of it. What are the different conditions for getting the deadlock? I explained to you mutual exclusion. When the resource is shareable, no deadlock, but because they are not shareable, definitely we'll get the deadlock. Hold and wait. One process is holding one resource and waiting for another resource will also create the deadlock. Preemption. If we can stop the process, we can break the deadlock, but we cannot stop the process. That's why there will be a deadlock. And circular wait, I told you, P1 is waiting for P2, process 2 waiting for process 3 waiting for 4 waiting for 5, like that. Finally, the last process is waiting for again process 1. So to give this example, this dining philosopher example we can use. So take this as philosopher 1 taken this fork, philosopher 2 taken this fork, philosopher 3 taken this fork, philosopher 4 taken this fork, philosopher 5 taken this fork, and they are waiting for the for the left hand side to be released. That will never happen. He is waiting for this, he is waiting for this. I mean, they are waiting in like a circle. This is never going to happen. That is also one reason for the circular wait. So we understand in the previous lecture in detail, I have explained you the examples about necessary conditions for the deadlocks. Okay, now what we need to do here is, this is one important topic. Even for the exam point of view, this is one important topic. We call it as resource allocation graph. We draw resource allocation graph to see whether the deadlock is there or not. Okay, so V is partitioned into two types. We have the list of process, we have the list of resources. Okay, so P stands for process. Excuse me, sorry for that. Excuse me. Okay, so sorry for that. So P is list of process or list of resources, and we need to draw a kind of a edge. What do you mean by request edge? When process is asking for the resource, we call it as a request edge. Directed edge when some process is asking for some resource, like this. So this is a process, this is a resource. Now when one process is asking for the resource, this is called as a request edge. Request edge. And now this is called as a assignment edge. Because this resource is already assigned to this process. Okay, two type of things. So we have request edge when one particular process is requesting for a resource. So that is process, this is resource. If it is asking, that is requesting, resource edge. When this resource is given to the process, if the resource is granted to the process, so this is now resource, this is now process, it is called as a assignment edge. Okay, when the resource is granted, the request edge is transformed instantaneously as to assignment edge. When the resource is released, the assignment edge is deleted. The job is done, it is going to delete that. That we represent like this. Okay, now you are seeing here one important point. Inside the box, there are 4 portions. Example only. What are those 4 portions? This resource is actually a shareable resource. This resource is actually shareable resource that can be having, this example only, that can have 4 instances or 4 copies, which means 4 process can take them. Okay, if you see like this, just it is a single instance. Inside that, if you see this, now this resource is shareable. This has got instance number 1, instance number 2, which means process 1 can take it, process 2 can also take it, because they are 2 instances, means 2 copies. Just remember this point. Okay, so is that clear, students, about this one point? What is resource edge and assignment edge and the copies? Clear? Any question? Okay, by using this tool, by using these pictures or the notations, we draw resource allocation graph, which looks like this. Okay, now if you look at this, the rectangle one, we understand that is resource, and the circle, we understand the process, and inside that, we are seeing the instances are the copies. Okay, now if you look at this, resource 1 is, okay, now tell me, what is this edge? Is this a resource, is this a request edge or assignment edge? R1 to P2, is this a resource, request edge or the assignment edge?
Request.
Sorry?
Request edge.
Is it requesting or is it given? Just check the picture. Is it requesting for this resource or this resource is given to P2? Check and tell me. Resource request edge or the assignment edge?
Request.
Assignment. So remember, the who said request, remember this process is not requesting. If you see this, process 1 is requesting. Look at the arrow. We have seen the example, right? So this is request. Request process is asking for the resource. When the resource is given to the process, the arrow will be to the process, because this is given to this process. Now, if you keep in mind that process 1 is asking for resource 1. Resource 1, it's only one copy that is given to process 2. Process 2 is asking for resource 3, but resource 3 is already given to process 3. Now, here we have resource 2. One copy is given to process 1, one copy is given to process 2. This is how we draw the resource allocation graph. Okay, what do we do in the resource allocation graph? In the question, I will show you some examples. In the question, you will be given some list of process, you will be given some list of resources, and you will be given the information that which process is given which resource, which process is requesting for the resource. By taking that information, we need to draw a resource allocation graph like this. Okay, is that clear, students? I will show you the example how to draw it. But understand, have you understand this picture? Is it clear?
No, Mr. Please
Repeat.
again.
Okay,
Yes,
I will
Mr.
repeat it. I will repeat it. So what basically we do, is in the system, we will be having the list of process. Like for example, P1, P2, P3 like that. And we'll be having the list of resources, which will be say resource 1, resource 2, resource 3 like that. Also, each resource, how many copies? If you look at the example here, resource 1 is 1 copy, resource 2, 2 copies, resource 3, 1 copy, resource 4, we have 3 copies. Now, it will be described that which process is asking for which resource and which resource is given to which process. If you look at the picture, so process 1 is asking for resource 1. So process 1 is asking for resource 1. How many copies of resource 1 we have? Only 1 copy of resource 1 we have. In the picture, if you look at, we have process 2. Process 2 is already having resource 1. So now process 1 is asking for resource 1, but resource 1 is already given to, okay, let me put the process this side. Okay, so we have process 2. So this resource is already given to process 2. Okay, so then we have resource 2, that is 2 copies. So we have resource 2, that is 2 copies. Because some resources I told you in the last lecture, some resources are shareable, some resources are not shareable. Resources which are shareable will have multiple copies. Like, if you have a hard disk, it is not necessary that only one user use the hard disk. Many people can use the hard disk. But if it is keyboard, only one person can use the keyboard. So that's why some resources are single copy. Some resources can have multiple instances. We can share them. Like printer also, we can share it. Okay, so resource 2. If you look at the picture, resource 2 is given to process 1. Resource 2 is given to process 2. So both of them, they are using it. So resource 2 is given to process 1. Arrow, that is assignment edge. Resource 2 is given to process 2. Now we have a third type of resource, resource 3. That contains only 1 copy, single copy, and that single copy is already given to process 3. It's already given to process 3. But process 2 wants it. Process 2 wants it. So it is asking for it, because to complete the job, it needs that resource. Okay, this is how we draw the resource allocation graph. What this graph shows, which resource is given to which process. Is that clear, students, now?
Yes, Mr.
Okay, so let's continue. Why? The question will come now. Why do we need to draw this resource allocation graph? Okay, now the point we need to understand here is, after drawing the resource allocation graph, we need to check for something called cycle. What do you mean by cycle? I will explain in the example. So if the graph contains if the graph contains no cycle, the system is not deadlock. If the graph contains a cycle, two things may happen. If there is only one copy or one instance of the resource, the system will be in a deadlock situation. This slide I will explain with the help of an example. I'm just reading now to make you understand the point. Okay, now what they say, we have to check the graph. What we need to do, we need to draw the graph like this. We need to check the graph. What we need to check? We need to check for cycle. What is cycle? I will explain. Okay, just wait. So we check for the cycle, we draw the graph. If there is no cycle, the system is not deadlocked. But if there is a cycle, now two things will happen if there is a cycle. One, there may be a deadlock when if there is only single resource. Each resource has got only one copy. I will show you the example. Don't worry about that. I will show you the example. Okay. Otherwise, if there are more than one copy, what do they mean? Otherwise means what? If there is more than one instance. Means if there is more than one copy, there might be a deadlock, there might not be a deadlock. We need to understand this point. First, we need to check what is the cycle. Then I will tell you whether it is deadlock or not deadlock. Okay, this is just to tell you the purpose of resource allocation graph. Then we are going to understand what they mean by saying cycle. Cycle, let's check. Okay, now let's check with our example. Okay, so we have process 1 asking for resource 1. Okay, step by step, we are now trying to find the cycle. Okay, process 1 is asking for resource 1. But is resource 1 available? Students, tell me step by step so that you can understand it easily. Process 1 is asking for resource 1. Is resource 1 free or busy? In this picture?
Busy.
Busy, it is given to process 2. Resource 1 is already given to process 2, which means it is not free. Okay, now let's check. Process 2. Process 2, I want to finish. I have resource 1. I also have resource 2, but I want resource 3 for the process 3 to complete. Is resource 3 free or busy?
Busy.
Busy, because it is already given to
Process 3.
okay, process 3. Now process 3, as per the picture we have seen, is process 3 asking for any resource or just it is going to complete the job? For the process 3 to complete, it does not need any resource. It already has one resource. It will complete the job. Got my point? It will complete the job because it is not waiting for any other resource like process 1 and process 2. Process 1 cannot complete because process 1 already got resource 2, but it is waiting for resource 1, which is given to process 2. Process 2 already got resource 1 and resource 2, but it is waiting for resource 3, which means process 1 cannot complete, process 2 cannot complete, but process 3 can complete the job. Are you clear up to this point, students? Are you clear up to this point? Any question? Are you clear? Process 1, I am repeating again. Process 1 cannot complete the job because process 1 already got resource 2, but it is waiting for resource 1 to complete. Okay, like we have one process. It already got keyboard. It's waiting for hard disk. Just I'm giving example. Hard disk is given to process 2. Process 2 already got hard disk. It already got mouse. It's waiting for network. Got my point? Process 3 just needs the network or say hard disk. I will take in resource like network. Okay, it only need a resource. Okay, what it will do? Process 1 is asking for this resource, but already it has got the resource. It cannot complete unless it gets this resource. Who is going to leave this resource? Process 2. But process 2 will say, I have not completed my job. I'm still waiting for resource 3. When I get resource 3, then only I will complete the job. So process 2 will say, I will not complete. Process 1 will also say, I cannot complete because I don't have the resources. But process 3 will say, I will complete the job because it got one resource. It needs one resource. It got it. Then after some time, it will complete the job, and process 3 will complete the job, and it is going to leave the resource. Are we clear, students, up to this point? Are we clear, students, up to this point? Please answer me. Yes or no? Are we clear? Still any question? Okay, so out of these three process, which process will finish first? Out of these three process, which process will finish first?
3.
Process 3. Okay, process 3 will say, okay, I want only one resource. I complete the job. Okay, now this resource 3 is now free after process 3. So, can we give this resource to process 2 now because it is free?
Yes.
Yes. So, after this, process 2 will say, okay, now I got resource 3 also. I complete my job. After this, what process 2 will do? Process 2 will leave the resource. Process 2 will leave this resource also. Process 2 will leave this resource also, which means process 1, which is waiting for resource 1, will get the resource after process 2. Then process 1 will complete the job. Now, in this situation, there is no cycle. What do you mean by cycle? One process is waiting for another process. One process is waiting for another process. One process is waiting for this process. Like, circular. This is like a cycle. So in this example, there is no cycle. Why? Because I will change the example now. Okay, so here, imagine process 3 is waiting for resource 2. Now, can any process complete the job? Can any process complete the job?
No.
No, because process 1 is waiting for process 2 to complete. Process 2 is waiting for process 3 to complete. Process 3 is waiting again for process 2 to complete. Now here there is a cycle. Are we clear now? What do we mean by cycle? It's like a circular wait kind of thing. It's like a circular wait kind of thing. But what is the point we discussed in the slide? If there is a cycle, and if we have multiple resources, now imagine same example. Now in the same example, we say this example has got a deadlock. We say there is a deadlock because process 1 is waiting for process 2, process 3 is waiting for process 3, process 3 is waiting for process 2, which means no process can complete the job. That's why there is a cycle, and this cycle shows that there is a deadlock. Are we clear, students, up to this point? Are we clear up to this point?
Yes, Mr. Yes.
Okay, now imagine I'm changing the small change. I'm making a small change here. If we have one more copy here, one more copy of resource 2. Now the system is still in a deadlock or not? Can you check? Process 1 is asking for resource 1. Resource 1 is given to process 2, 1 is free, which means process 1 can complete the job. Are we clear, students?
Yes.
Okay, process 1 has done. Process 1 has completed the job. Next, we'll check process 2. Process 2 got resource 1. Process 2 got resource 2. But process 2 is waiting for resource 3 because it's only one copy. And process 3 is waiting for resource 2, which is from process 2. Again, between process 2 and process 3, there is a deadlock. Why? Because they are waiting for each other. So here in this situation, again, there is a deadlock. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? There is a deadlock here. Process 1 will finish, but process 2 cannot finish. You can check because process 2 is at resource 1 and resource 2 together, but it is waiting for resource 3. Resource 3 just only one copy, which is already given to process 3. Process 3 is waiting for resource 2, which is given to okay. Yeah. One point I want to make one point is sorry, it is not a deadlock here because there are two copies. One was given to process 1. Now when process 1 complete the job, one copy will be free. So this free copy will be given to process 3. Now what is the order? Process 1 will finish, then process 3 will finish. It will retrieve the all resources, then process 2 will finish. Now no deadlock. Do you understand this, students? Do you understand this? Previously, when there is only one resource was available for resource 1, there was a deadlock. There was a deadlock because no one can complete the job. But when we have one more copy here, one more extra copy here, process 1 can complete the job because it was waiting for the resource. Because of one more copy, it will complete the job first, then that extra copy, the resource 2 which process 1 was having, it will release. So this resource can be given to process 3. Process 3 will complete the job, then all the resources will be free, then process will complete the job. Is that clear, students? Is that clear? Is that clear? So I will read it again. So if the graph contains no cycle, the system is not deadlocked. So we have already seen the example. So this example which we have here, no cycle, because resource 3 is given to process 3. Process 3 will complete the job. It will leave the resource. This resource can be given to process 2. Process 2 will take the 3 resources and complete the job. Then it will leave everything. Process 1 will complete the job. So no cycle here. When there is no cycle, no deadlock. Clear. So when there is no cycle, the system is not deadlocked. But if there is a cycle, what we need to do? We need to check for the copies of the resources. If there is only one copy, definitely it is going to be a deadlock. I have shown you the example already. If there are more than one copy, then we have to check carefully. Like I changed the example. If there is one copy here, definitely the system is deadlocked. But if there is more than one copy, then we have to check carefully. We have to see whether there is a deadlock or not deadlock. We will see a few more examples in this now. Okay, now check. Is this deadlocked? This is the example I gave you already. So process 1 asking for resource 1. Resource 1 is already given to process 2. Process 2 is having the resource 2 and having the resource 1, but it is asking for resource 3. Resource 3 is given to process 3. Resource 3 is given to process 3. I think we need to put it like this. Yeah, we need to change this. It should be like this. Okay, ignore this. Okay, ignore this. Okay, so the arrow is here. It is asking for resource 2. Okay, if you look at this, we have an answer. Deadlock it is, yes, but why it is deadlock? Do you understand now why it is deadlock? Can any process complete the job? For process 1 to complete, it got resource 2, but it is asking for resource 1, not available. It is given to process 2. Process 1 has got this resource 1 and resource 2. It is asking for resource 3, but not available because it is given to process 3. Process 3 is waiting for this resource. So this is going to create a situation of a deadlock. Okay, now this is a cycle. That's why there is a deadlock. Now, if you look at this, there is no deadlock. Why there is no deadlock? Can you explain? Why there is no deadlock here? Because you have to tell like this in the exam. The question will be given. You have to check. You have to answer whether there is a deadlock or not. No deadlock. Why there is no deadlock? Now, can someone answer here why there is no deadlock? Look at the diagram. Which process will finish first? Which process will finish first?
4.
Okay, so P4 can finish. Also, P2 can also finish because you can see it is asking for only one resource. It is given. So either P4 or P2, any one of them will finish. When any one of them will finish, so that resource which is available here can be given to P1, or it can also be given to, yeah, it will be given to P1. So next P1 will finish the job. P1 will finish the job. So when P1 will finish the job, we have now left with only P3. P3 already got this resource and waiting for the resource from here. So when P1 completes, so this resource, or even when P4 finish, this resource will be free. So any one of them can be given to P3. So either P1 or P3, any one of them will finish. So which means order is not important here. No deadlock here. No deadlock here. There is no cycle. But in the same example, if P2 is waiting for R2, okay, and P4 is waiting for R1, now there is a deadlock. There is a cycle because there are two copies. One is given to this, one is given to this. P4 cannot get it. Now there are two copies. One is given to P1 and one is given to P4. Now P3 and P2, they are waiting for them. So they will not complete the job. So here it's a cycle. So hope you understand now what do we mean by a cycle. You have to check very carefully. Is that clear, students? Is that clear?
Yes, Mr.
Okay, now the same example, if I add few more resources here, the situation will change because now there is no deadlock. If I add one more resource here, one more resource there, there is no deadlock. It is looking like a cycle, but one resource is free. That resource can be given to P4. P4 will finish. One resource is free here that can be given to P2. P2 will finish. So what you need to be careful about? You need to be careful about the resource instances. If it is single instance, and you see a cycle, one process is waiting for next is waiting for this, definitely it is a deadlock. But when there is no cycle, when there is multiple resources, you have to check very carefully to see whether there is a deadlock or no deadlock. Okay, so before we continue further, I will take you to the examples, then I will come back. Okay, I just show the lab and then come back. Because these are the solutions we are going to see for 4 problems. Okay, so I want you to check some questions later on. Okay, which is the request edge, which is the assignment edge. So there are some theory questions. You can just check later. Directly now I will show you some the problematic questions. Okay, this lab is already sent to you. Just check that, lab number 5. And today we'll discuss lab number 4 also. Okay, now just check this. There is a question. These kind of questions will be given to you in the exams. Okay, assume that a system contains 3 processes, process 1, process 2, process 3, and there are 3 resources, resource 2, resource 3. I think this is resource 1, resource 1, resource 2, resource 3, and all the resources having single instance. Means what? Single copy. Okay, so following is the order in which the process requests for the resource. Process 1 asking for resource 1. Process 2 is asking for resource 2. Process 3 is asking for resource 3. Okay, that is one thing. Then it is asking process 1 for resource 2. One point I want you to keep in mind. One point, this is very important point you need to keep in mind. Now, what is the first point says? We say process 1 is asking for resource 1. Okay, but in the beginning, it's only, remember, one copy. Yeah, we discussed it's only a single copy, one copy. Okay, just one point which is not mentioned in the lecture. When the resource is free in the beginning, okay, when the resource is free in the beginning, directly the the request edge will become an assignment edge, which means you need not to draw like this. You need not to draw like this because it is requesting, but if the resource is available free, directly what happens is this is not going to be, so this is going to be like this. Assignment edge. Are we clear, students, with this point? Process 1 is asking for resource 1, but it is available free. No one has taken it. Directly, resource 1 is given to process 1. Is that clear, students?
Yes, Master.
Okay, now, by keeping this rule, I will draw the picture now. Okay, so the picture looks like this. Process 1 asking for resource 1. Resource 1, only one copy. But as I mentioned, that will become a assignment edge. Now process 2 asking for resource 2. Single copy. This is also a assignment edge because it is free. Now process 3 asking for resource 3. That is also a single copy of resource 3. Okay, now this is done. This is done. Now process 1 is asking for resource 2. Process 1 asking for resource 2. Not available, given to process 2. So that's why we draw the request edge. Process 2 is requesting for resource 3. So process 2 is requesting for resource 3, not available. It's given already to process 3. So request edge we need to draw. Process 3 is asking for resource 1. So we can draw it like this. Process 3, we can draw a line like this, okay, in the middle, but it will confuse. So let's say process 3 is asking for this resource, not available. Now tell me, is this a deadlock or not?
Deadlock.
Yes. So the question here you can see, draw the resource allocation graph. So we have draw the resource allocation graph, find whether there is a deadlock exists or not. Now in this situation, no process will complete. Process 1 to complete, we need resource 2. Process 2 to complete, we need resource 3. Process 3 to complete, we need resource 1, which means like it's like a circular weight and there is a cycle. So when there is a cycle, there is a deadlock. Are we clear, students, with this? Easy?
Yes.
The problem comes when we have more than one resource. We have to be very careful about that. Okay, so let's check. Okay, now you can see directly the picture is given. What is the question? From the following resource allocation graph, identify and write the cycles. Also state whether there is a deadlock or not. Now we have to check very carefully. And you can see there are multiple resources. And I think this picture is like the thing what we have seen in the lecture. So no need to discuss this. This is the same example we have seen in the slide. Okay, the one which I have explained to you just now. This example. Okay, this example already we discussed about that. So no need to waste our time. So let's go to the next example. Okay, so based on the resource allocation graph given below, fill up the table given below to find whether there is a deadlock or not. Explain or justify your answer. Now we have to check this. Number of process we have P1, P2, P3. Okay, we have 3 process. which is P1, P2, P3. Number of resources we have resource 1, resource 2, resource 3. But resource 2, we have 2 copies. We have to be careful about this. Okay. Okay. Number of instances R1, R2, R3. Okay, let us check the thing. We have to find out whether there is a deadlock or not. Okay, process 1. Let's check process 1. To complete process 1, resource 2 is given to process 1. Now it is waiting for resource 1. Only one copy. This one copy is already given to process 2. Process 2 is already having resource 2. Now it is waiting for resource 3. Resource 3, I think it is like the same example. Resource 3 is given to process 3. Process 3 is waiting for resource 2. Now if you look at this, it contains a cycle. I think this is a similar example which we have seen in the slide. It contains a cycle because 2 resources, one is given to P2, one is given to P1. For P1 to complete, it needs R3. R3 is given to P3. So this is also deadlock. Deadlock we can explain because P1 is waiting for resource 1. Resource 1 is already given to P2. P2 is waiting for resource 3. Resource 3 is already given to P3. P3 already got resource 3 waiting for R2, but R2 is not available. 2 copies, one given to P1, one given to P2. So there is a deadlock. So you can write your explanation for that. So there is a cycle. The answer is yes. Why? We need to explain. So like that, you will be given resource allocation graph and you need to find out whether there is a deadlock or not. I will try to give you a few more examples in the next class. Okay, so that you can understand better about the resource allocation graph. Now, we need to discuss, is that clear, students, up to this part of the deadlocks? Okay, let's check this question. I think there is one more question here. Assume that, okay, can you try and solve this question number 23? Can you try and solve this question number 23 and send me later on? Is it okay? Okay, so in the deadlock lab, I will try to give you a few more examples also, but there is one example here, question number 23. I discussed this 24, but 23 is there. Just check it. I will give you a few more examples. You can try. Okay. So with this related to the deadlock, we'll stop for today. And I will, we have few examples to see about lecture number 5 about synchronization, which I did not discuss. Okay, we'll discuss about that. This is for